Future Talk Radio. You're in to all things music.
Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Erik, Paul, and Sharp. Hello.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
The dubiously qualified are back. Has anyone spend the time off to work on their qualifications?
Well,
especially on Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what that day is all about, is research.
I had a good Sunday fun day not too long ago, so that qualifies. And I think we talked about some movie for about 5 seconds. So, I was right in there with everything.
We talked about Get Out.
Get Out?
Yes, we did.
What's Get Out?
You haven't heard of Get Out?
It's
like the comedy horror movie by the guy Jordan Peele from Key and Peele.
Oh. No,
he's not in it, but he wrote and directed.
He wrote and directed.
Oh, it sounds vaguely familiar. I've been in like lockdown mode here. We've moved our radio studio over into the next suite. So like the past week has been moving furniture, moving computers, hooking up mixers, cables.
It's the new home of
everywhere.
Intertalk Radio.
Yeah. It's just a few feet down the road, but we got our own space. It's pretty fun.
It's very nice. It's got a great air conditioner. I know.
Yes. Finally, the AC's kicked in. It's pretty glorious in here.
That's true. We may have to start doing 2 shows a week just so I can
just come here for the AC. Sure, if that's what it takes to get you in here.
I'm all about it.
We don't even have to refrigerate our beers. We can just put them under the vents.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing.
Speaking of beer, I'm the only one drinking beer.
What?
I'm the only one drinking beer here.
Yeah.
You're drinking beer. Paul's drinking wine. I'm drinking nothing because my 51-year-old just out of a car accident back is very painful, so I'm taking painkillers. Doesn't allow me to drink. Otherwise,
but you're basically pre-gamed before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this Rekt review would be real wrecked. Trust me.
Oh man,
what are you drinking, by the way, Erik?
I am drinking I believe the double IPA by McKellar and Alpine. It's a collab.
How is it?
It's very, very good. Very tasty. And I chose a double IPA for the double Wolverine action we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's right.
That might tie in.
And you, sir?
Something called AOP Minervois Benjamin Darnold. I don't know what this is. I think some kind of mix. I got this.
Minervois.
Minervois. A friend of mine turned me on to this website, nakedwines.com, where they send you like 12 bottles for like $80.
Nice.
And I decided to check it out. None of them are like particularly phenomenal, but just decent.
Right.
Nothing is terrible. Nothing is. There was one bottle so far out of like 4, I think, that I was pretty impressed with. The rest are just kind of like, all right, like tastes like a $7 wine, pretty much.
You know what? All wines taste that way to me. I'm a beer guy, meat and taters,
Yeah.
Al Bundy sort of guy. So
me too. I like wine. I just don't know anything about it. I'd much prefer to drink beer, though.
Absolutely.
I do like that you bring in these wine bottles that look fancy and have graphics on it, and then you drink out of a plastic cup. So, it's a nice.
Because Paul is not a connoisseur; he's a wino. So there's a difference. There's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the drinking of Mr. Logan. Hello, Segway.
That's right.
So that's what we're doing, right, Logan?
Yeah. Before we get started, full disclosure, did you actually go to a movie theater to see this, or did you get a
Oh, absolutely not. No, I watched it at home. Yes.
Oh.
I do plan on going to see it in the theater, though,
days.
because I think it has to be seen in the theater to really be fully enjoyed.
Was it a good quality that the studio sent you, at least?
It was very bad quality. Yeah, it was bad quality, but it got better as the movie went on. The quality got better, or I just didn't give a shit, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's fine.
I think the movie scenes got lighter as the movie went on, so maybe that helped.
But the first 45 minutes of it is just dark completely.
Yeah, it's like all at night in the desert,
Mm-hmm.
and
you're right.
A lot of night scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
A whole lot of night scenes.
Long movie too.
Jesus, it was long. Very, very long movie. I don't know. What did you guys think?
I liked it overall.
Right.
it was. I liked kind of the more serious, gritty tone to it. Because Wolverine comics, I think in general, I haven't read comics in a very long time, but from what I remember, Wolverine comics were a little bit more like that, not so much flying around and shooting lasers out of your palms and shit like that.
Yeah, that's what they were. Yeah.
This was almost more like a Punisher kind of thing.
I like the fact that it was the whole superhero thing was kind of an afterthought. It's like by this time everybody knows who Logan is, and they know who Professor X is. So they told more of it's like a road story,
and really had more of a sci-fi flavor to it than a fairy tale comic kind of thing.
Right,
and that is what I liked about it, is that it was more. It's like, okay, yeah, he's a superhero, but it's kind of a more gruff, dark story.
Mm-hmm.
The Logan character is one of my favorite comic book characters.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are a comic book fan, right? You grew up reading comics?
I grew up reading comic books.
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool, because I did not. And to me, this is like one of the best comic book movies I think I've seen.
Yeah.
I would put this up there with Dark Knight and stuff like that.
As a comic book movie, it's one of the absolutely much better ones. Especially being it's not because the X-Men stuff is not really in the MCU, so
right.
But the whole MCU stuff is so ridiculous to me that this was a breath of fresh air, even though I didn't like it that much, only because it was kind of boring. It was but probably because it was so long.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a little bit of a tedious movie to sit through. Like the two problems I had with it is kind of some of the unnecessary ultra violence,
right?
And then just it didn't really leave you with a good feeling. I kind of walked out of there feeling like I've been through the ringer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I
think that's kind of one of the points of the movie.
Yeah,
is that it's not supposed to end on like a song and dance number or anything like that. But
no, I don't expect that, but I don't know.
You do get that, like I think it really achieved that, because you do get the feeling like looking at Logan and Professor Xavier, you're like, these guys have been through a whole hell of a lot. So it's like now it's like, yeah, they've had enough. It's time to end it. But it's like you said, there was a lot of violence. And it was over the top, and it looks like it was forced.
Yeah, that's what
the exact same way all the cursing that was in it seems so forced to me. Like listening to Patrick Stewart say the word "fuck" over and over again. It's like they're forcing it in.
The first time it was great. It's like, okay, finally, we're being treated like adults, but then they just keep pounding it and kind of loses the edge.
I thought it fit with Logan's character. Like the Patrick Stewart thing, I can get.
Yeah,
I heard like. When people get dementia, cursing is something that can come along. So I can see how that might be a thing, but it didn't necessarily bother me.
But in general, basically the best thing about this movie is it kind of takes, I would say, like our age group, like that we grew up on this stuff, but
right.
but treat them like they're grown ups. Like we don't want to see flying.
That's been what I've hated about most of these superhero movies, is that they're
for 13-year-olds.
Yeah, and that's why I liked Deadpool so much, because Deadpool did not take itself seriously. It's like, it's just bullshit. It's a stupid ass movie. That's what we're supposed to be.
Did you I would still argue that's for 13-year-olds though. 14-year-olds.
It definitely is, but
it's a good version of that for sure.
It's for shitty 13-year-olds.
Yeah, you know that going in. And that's been the problem. I was reading about the new Thor movie that's coming out, Thor Ragnarok. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be like, so the guy who, I can't remember the guy's name.
That goes in line with the other Thor movies, I would say.
Yeah, well, this one's going to be even worse than those, because this one is going for comedy. They said it's going to be more of a comedy movie. And the guy who wrote and directed it, I can't remember his name, but he did a movie called What We Do in the Shadows, which is a mockumentary about vampires.
Yeah,
and that movie is really, really funny. It's very funny.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's great, but that's not what you want for Thor.
That's crazy. That's a guy doing Thor?
He's the one who wrote and produced it. And he's like, this is going to be all comedy. And they took everything. Like, Thor doesn't have long hair anymore. He doesn't have his hammer. You know, so it's all completely different.
He's got short. He went Metallica.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And
what if he's a hipster?
Yeah, and they're going for complete comedy. So I was like, why would you do that?
I feel like Marvel at this point, with the success of this, and I would say Deadpool, like they kind of have to change their game up.
They can take some chances.
Yeah, like their big chance was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
which I think is probably one of the better Marvel movies. But
it is.
Like, I think I was probably more high on Doctor Strange than both of you. But still, that's like the last time that I think I could willing to put up with this same formula that they've been doing over and over and over again.
More high meaning you liked it more?
I think I liked it more than both of you.
I like Doctor Strange a lot.
I hated Doctor Strange, and one of the things I hated about it is it's basically Iron Man. He's Tony Stark. Yeah, it's the same story.
Yeah, they're definitely very cookie cutter, and I'll be curious to see what they do with, I think, Spider-Man, which comes out this month or next month or May. I don't know. It's coming out. I think it's coming out soon.
Change the subject for a minute. What's a new Netflix Marvel thing?
Iron Fist.
Iron Fist. Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
It's horrible.
Is it?
Iron Fist is another.
Just the character is horrible, or you've seen the show already? And it's
I've seen the show. The character itself from the comic books is awesome. And so what Netflix is doing, those characters, Iron Fist, Luke Cage,
they're kind of like these
Jessica Jones,
B-side.
and Daredevil. Well, yeah, they're a group of. They're called the Defenders. That's what they were in the comic book. So they're doing all their shows, and then they'll eventually bring it all together, and they'll be the Defenders. But they changed everything. So Iron Fist in the comic books is an Asian character, and now it's a white character that was like lost on an island or somewhere in Asia. It's like
I hear Marvel likes to do this.
Yeah,
they like to rewrite Asian parts.
Yeah, they like to. So they're taking the comics and just rewriting them. It's like if you did comic book movies for me when they first started. I was like, this is going to be my childhood coming to life.
Yeah,
you know, it's completely different. They've redone with the exception of Batman, because Batman always stays the same. It's the same origin and everything. They're not going to really change that. All the rest of them, it's just completely different. Like Tony Stark is like this in the movies. He's this, devil may care comic character. In the comic books, he's dark as hell. He's an alcoholic and and doesn't care about shit except putting on his suit and going around and tearing shit up.
I think that's the Marvel universe, though. They keep it super light.
They know what their audience is. They're like, we need to.
Well, it's Disney, right? I mean, it's ultimately Disney behind it.
Yeah, and adults are only going to go see these movies so much. Kids are going to keep going, and if you make a good kids movie, like look at Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is a great comedic actor. His most popular and most successful movies are like the kids movies that he does. What's the cartoon with Mike Myers? Shrek. That's like his most popular movie. So if you make movies for kids, and you're going to make $1 billion. If you make a really good movie for an adult, you make a few million, but you're not going to make that same money. So that's why they do it.
I always thought it was like these actors have kids and they're like, oh, I want to make movies for my kids.
Yeah.
Like The Rock, and because didn't he do
yeah, he did
The Pacifier or something, or
so
that Ice
to me,
Cube?
It's like that's great. Make a
Vin
movie
Diesel.
for your kid.
Yeah,
you're an actor. Make a movie for your kid that they can go see, and then get back to doing some good shit. So.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Back to Logan.
Yeah, but that was the thing with Logan. I thought Logan was good.
Is very much an adult movie. A 13-year-old's not going to like this movie.
But Logan is very much an adult character. He's like the character in the X-Men, probably in the whole Marvel universe. It's like, I don't like all this stuff that's happening to me. I don't like having the adamantium claws, but I have them, so I'm going to use them to tear shit up. And he's like, he's the character that would rather. He doesn't want to reason with people. He's like, I'd rather kill you. That's you're a bad guy. You deserve to be dead, so I'm going to kill you.
I'll say the only thing I guess there's a couple things that kind of bummed me out about this movie, but they were fairly minor overall. The ending, didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah,
right.
Mainly because I think the bad guys just would have brought in a sniper or would have just done an airstrike or bombs or something with the kids going to Canada. I don't think they would just send a team in there to try to capture them. It's from what I understood, they were all ready to kill and make this program go away, as it were.
Go Go ahead.
I thought maybe they wanted to capture them so they can still train them, but they decided to dismantle the program before and kill all the kids, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So you're right. Why?
But then you wouldn't have a story if they just brought it in and just blew everything up. That's why. And you know what? It's one of those. It's always the same story. Like this. Okay, so this is the end of Logan, maybe, because they can
It better be the end of Logan.
Well, in Marvel, they can always bring people back.
I would be
dead.
super bummed if they bring this stuff back now.
But it's always the same story. This is going to be.
He's old, so it just takes him a little longer to regenerate and dig out of the grave.
This is obviously setting up another film because now these kids are going to be mutants and they're going to be superheroes. Only it'll be the next movie will be 20 years later or something like that. But
they could do that, but I don't think they. They certainly don't need to. Like, this movie, I think, brought closure. Like, it kind of stands on its own. But
you notice how it's always the same story, though? There's always that shadow government agency that's been training kids since they were 2 years old, and now the kids have gotten away, so now they have to be killed. It's always the same story. Like, nobody comes up with anything original. They had that terrible show that Jessica Alba did. That's how she became famous. And that was the thing where she was like a hitman trained as a kid. Dark Angel. Yeah, where she was a hitman, where she was trained. It was all kids, and now everybody's trying to get those kids. And it's, oh, my God. Give it a rest. Stop it.
I did really appreciate that this movie did not save the world.
Yeah.
Like there was no giant beams coming from space blowing stuff up.
Exactly.
I did like that it was a much more personal, more of a one-note sort of movie. Like, not those big stakes. It was more of a, a character development movie.
I hate the superhero movies where it's some monster from space. I can't stand
That's why you didn't like
movies.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah. Well, Doctor Strange to me was just really stupid. I like the whole... Doctor Strange was one of the comic book characters that I never liked. I was like, well, he does magic? Ooh. That's how... Like, so David Blaine is a superhero all of a sudden. It's like, who gives a shit, And when he's doing all the things with his hands and making the little sparks, and I was like, that's dumb. Whatever.
I dig Cumberbatch, though. He's just
a good actor.
Entertaining to watch.
Yeah. He's a good actor. And like the beginning of that movie, I thought it was cool. It was he was doing his best Tony Stark.
We're about to head into a commercial here. Take a short break. We'll be right back. This is Rekt Reviews on EnterTalkRadio.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to talk more crap about superheroes.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Erik, Paul, and Sharp.
And we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, I'm back too.
Don't sound so excited.
I had to think about it.
You have a new type of beer.
Oh, yeah. what
I
you
do.
got?
I have a
Rip Curl? Was that
Rip
it?
Current.
Rip Current.
Lupin Lust. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm on round 2 because we're here. Round 2.
Yes, indeed, we are.
So you wanted to talk about the ultra-violence in Logan. before.
Yeah, because I was talking to somebody else about whether or not this could be a PG-13 movie, because most comic book movies are PG-13. And I thought the violence in this actually is part of the narrative, like the gruesome violence in it. So I thought there's no way you could tell this particular story without the rated R-ness of it.
The violence in this movie, I was even though it was really over the top, I was happy about it because, like I said earlier, that is the character that Logan is. He's like this violent character.
Mm-hmm. What about the little girl stabbing homies in the head? And
It's funny that's disturbing. Yeah, it's funny how they got away with that, but that's supposed to be her character. She's little Wolverine.
Yeah, and actually seeing her get stabbed through the stomach, like when I first saw that, I'm like, I've never seen like a child actor like get like bloodily stabbed before in a movie. So I thought that was kind of crazy.
I want to know how they directed that little girl. What they like told her to do. Did they just tell her just completely go just fucking abstract crazy?
They'll just give her a liter of 7-Up and set her loose in the set.
Yeah, because she pretty much she was like just went. Like,
she's
like,
phenomenal, man. Like normally I'm on here bitching about
you don't like kid actors.
Yeah,
but she is, man. Like the acting in this movie is super strong. I mean, Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, sure, like. You've seen them before, but this kid, man, she was dynamite.
You know what? It's funny because like she was really good, and I was just talking about this the other day. I don't know if you guys have seen Moonlight. Have you seen that movie?
No, not yet.
Okay.
No, I want to.
It's a good movie. You know, it's depressing as hell, but
that's why I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, the little kid in the movie. I don't think I've ever seen a kid that young, an actor, have that level of emotion. Like you want to cry just watching this kid, and I'm like, how did they pull this out of this little kid?
That always disturbs me. I was like, this kid must have seen some shit.
Well, and that was the reason. Like I almost had to turn that movie off. I was like, I can't watch this. I can't watch movies.
Yeah, kids should not have access to this sort of emotional depth.
Yeah, I'm like, this is terrible. But the little girl in Logan, she was incredible. She's running around yelling and screaming and.
Yeah, like there's a lot in this movie where she doesn't even talk. She just does like these like very adult like facial expressions and stuff that conveys so much. And man, like
she was a good nemesis for Logan. Like
like it's very good direction and acting. Like I think the director was good enough not to put her in maybe something that was over her head or something, which I think you see a lot in kids' movies. So I really need to see Moonlight. And
they actually I was surprised that they never got to the point where, because usually when you have a movie like this with a kid and it's supposed to be this tough kid, eventually they get to where the kid breaks down and cries and actually turns into a child. They never really did that in this movie with her. No. She's like, I'm a little head case. I like to run around and kill people. So. Yeah,
I didn't know anything about this movie going into it, and then when it introduced this kid, and I started to get really worried. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be a kid movie now. Like the stakes are going to drop. It's going to become a little more lighthearted than that. But nope, didn't do any of that.
What was your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh, the farmhouse scene.
Which one? Oh, with
the family.
Yeah,
when everything just goes to shit. That's one reason why I think the violence in that scene Like, I mean, when Patrick Stewart's talking to Logan about how, like, this could be your life, this is, and, like, just that getting destroyed right before his eyes.
Yeah.
I think, and, like, just brutally done so. Like, I think that's right there, that whole scene is, like, the point of the movie, I think.
That's my favorite scene, too, for the reason that they actually show that Professor Xavier, even though he's old and senile, like, and they show, like, they have to keep him drugged. Otherwise, his mind is so strong, it could just do all kinds of shit. You know?
Yeah. That's it's like in every X-Men movie. It's like, how do you get Professor X, temporarily out of the situation because he just wins everything? That's like,
well, that's the same thing they did. They try to overplay this whole thing with this last Captain America, the Civil War movie.
Oh God.
Like, why? How come? Dumbest movie ever. But they're like, well, how come Hulk and Thor weren't in it? It's like, well, because it's over. Like if Hulk's on one side, then that side wins. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you have to do something with him. And they're like, yeah, he's off on a planet somewhere.
Yeah, the Marvel movies conveniently don't have, like, whenever they brought all those universes together and now they're conveniently missing, like, when it makes the most sense for them to be there, that's problematic.
Well, and they have to keep those characters around, so Hulk is in the next Thor.
Right.
Yeah.
And this movie circumvents all that by just saying everyone else is dead.
Everyone is dead.
Yeah, everybody's dead.
It's just these guys.
Yeah, everybody's dead.
And sounds like Professor X may have inadvertently killed them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Which is why he's so morose now, like.
And why they keep him in a water tower.
It's such an interesting idea, though. Like your mind is your weapon, but as you get old, your mind starts to go. Like,
the powers are still there, but you
that's
have no
such
idea
a
what
cool
you're doing
concept.
with it.
I never
It was
thought
pretty
about.
Cool. And that's one of the things that gave it like a more of a sci-fi, like a hard sci-fi tinge than some superhero nonsense. I like that.
You have to. It's a superhero movie, so you have to have the non-belief to begin with. But I always think, I'm like, how come Professor X doesn't just, all the evil people that want to kill mutants, how come he doesn't, he's in control of everybody's mind on the planet, so how come he doesn't just zap their minds and
kill yourself, put a gun in your mouth.
Yeah, put a gun in your mouth and be done with it. Like,
he's super
always,
kumbaya, though. Like,
he's got ethics.
He's like everybody's, we're all good deep down.
Yeah.
You got to come around on your own.
I'm glad that they finally, with Logan, this is the first Wolverine standalone movie that was any good.
That's right. The other ones,
I haven't actually seen any of the other ones.
They're dog shit.
They're dog shit. Yeah, they're
really?
terrible.
Okay, because this director did one of the other ones, and I really want to see it now.
He did? Which one?
I don't know.
The previous one?
I don't know. I think it's just called
I think
Wolverine.
They were progressively getting better. I think the first one I really didn't like. The second one was like watchable, but still not great.
Which one was the one where he was in Japan?
In Japan, that was the second one, I think.
That was the one I was like, this is going to be awesome because it's a great idea, and then it was just dog shit. It was terrible. Yeah. I'm like,
okay. Maybe I won't rush out.
Oh, that's where it starts, where he's in Nagasaki or
with the atomic bomb, and it's just like, oh my god, this is so terrible.
Yeah, they just could not get the tone of those movies until this one. That's the other thing great about this one is it feels like they finally nailed the character.
You know what's good about streaming these movies is like when you do it. So I have a Dragon box at home. So after you watch one of these shit movies, and not the Logan was shit, it was okay. After you watch one of them, you can go and watch something that's actually good. So I watched Logan, and I was like, so then I went and watched Dr. Strangelove. The old Dr. Strangelove movie, which is a great movie. So kind of takes your mind off of the bullshit the way movies are done nowadays. So
that was quite the swing. Logan and Dr. Strangelove.
Pretty much.
Dr. Strangelove is great.
Dr. Strangelove is
That's
awesome.
the best.
Mm-hmm. I should have watched Doctor Strange first and then watch Dr. Strangelove
to get the taste out of your mouth.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in Logan, I think, was when they're trying to escape with Professor X and the kid in the limo, and they try to bust through a fence, and instead of
good.
busting through it, they just get caught up in the chain link. I was like, finally, some realism to this bullshit.
But then it worked out because it took out the motorcycle dudes.
It worked out in the end. But the first thing that happened, you don't make it. You can't just drive a car through a fence.
But all the cars were still made out of explodium. So it was like, as soon as you touch
it's 2029 Shark.
Yeah,
that's how they make them now.
I like this car. I like the
limo.
Yeah, the Chrysler 300 limo. That was kind of cool. And the way, so he from the beginning, you got the idea this is going to be violent with the the Mexican gang
Mexican
that tried to steal
gangsters.
his car, and he's just
Yeah.
he kills them.
There's some decapitation a couple times in this
Yeah.
movie.
It took him a little while to get going.
Well, and
His
Yeah.
claws
Yeah.
getting stuck.
Yeah.
that was a trip too. How he was more vulnerable
Yeah.
in this movie, but you knew like by the end of the movie, he's going to get really, really angry and turn back into, into the.
He
to
needed
Wolverine,
drugs.
Yeah,
He needed drugs in
That
the
kind of
end
bummed me out. I wish that
Yeah.
part wasn't in there. Like
Yeah.
that he needed the drugs. Like,
Yeah.
to
like,
go berserk.
well, yeah, but I mean, like him going in to help, like he kind of made the decision there. Like I'm going to go die to do this. Like
Yeah.
you don't need the drug boost thing.
yeah, just
to,
go
to,
do
like,
it. Yeah.
There's a couple. I mean, this movie's pretty much kind of on the nose, I guess, and that bothers me. But it didn't really bother me as much with this movie. But like him fighting himself.
You know what I hated, and I hate this in a lot of movies, is the main antagonist guy with the robot hand.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it's like, it wasn't like so much that he was on like, so the reason he was doing this stuff was for, we got to break down this program and we got to get rid of all these kids. But he seemed to just so enjoy being evil. He's like, I'm really enjoying like shooting at Wolverine and killing these kids. It's like, it's evil just for the sake of being evil. It's like, so when they have something like that, I'm like, how come there's not a backstory as to why this guy hates them so much? And why he's just like getting so much glee out of going around shooting kids, which is why his comeuppance at the end. I was like, yeah, I like the way they did him. They all got together and just
I wish that had been more violent, though. To be honest,
yeah,
like
with his
should've-
death.
like I feel like they just covered him
Instead
up
of covering him with
grass,
grass.
and then they just buried him or something.
yeah, they
Like,
should have ripped him apart.
yeah, like I was expecting like, oh crap, what are they going to do to this guy? Because he's been like evil throughout the whole movie. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you choked him with grass. I think he got off light.
I was trying to again.
with grass.
Is he buried alive? Is that what's going on? He can't get out now.
Maybe for like a hard ass like him, that's the ultimate insult. It's not just dying; it's being killed with grass by children.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate fuck you.
Yeah. Now again, since I streamed and it was a very bad copy, I couldn't tell. Were all these guys, all these soldiers, were they mutants too?
No.
Okay, but why did he have a robot hand? Is that
It's just the future.
Yeah,
Just got a
okay.
robot
Yeah,
hand.
Yeah, he was just part cyborg, I guess.
yeah? Because I was thinking maybe that's why they're so angry. They're like they're the mutants that the mutants that they made and it didn't turn out well, and now they want to get rid of the youngsters because how dare you replace us, sort of thing. That and the fact that he knew exactly who Wolverine was. He's like, oh yeah, I admire you and this, that, and the other. So it's like, how come they're not afraid of this guy? Like they should know that he can switch on his berserker thing in a minute and just kill all of us. So,
Well, I think they just thought he was either obsolete at that point or too old to.
Yeah,
yeah.
which it kind of was.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think about comic books being in this movie?
I was going to ask about that.
I thought that was actually very cool because it brought up a point. I think they were kind of laughing at themselves, like these are where they're saying, yeah. He kept saying, yeah, that's just shit you read in the comic book. None of that's real. But he's like, a lot of this stuff you read in the comic books actually happened, but it wasn't all funny and like and you had a good ending. Like these, like people actually died. So
he said. It was like a very descriptive term for like people who are into comic books. It was like something, which I damn it, it's like
he
something
said,
bedwetters.
Yeah, he said it's like therapy for bedwetters or something like that. Yeah.
Something like, and it was like, it was a pretty visual like cut down on like people that are into comic books. So I'm like, is this like are they like ragging on like how comic book movies have been coming out?
I from what I got from it, I think they were ragging on how bad comic book movies actually are. But when he said that, I can just imagine people at Comic-Con going like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah, I could you're insulting your audience with this
Yeah.
sort of stuff. I could see people, totally getting upset about
You have
that.
a
But
bunch of people-
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm like, I kind of feel the same way.
I was laughing because I could just see like a bunch of people at Comic-Con all standing around in Batman costumes laughing and then start crying like, why is he being so mean to us, sort of thing.
But I mean, but it's Wolverine. If Wolverine went to Comic-Con, he would be like,
yeah.
You guys are freaking
You
losers.
guys are a bunch of losers. That should have
Do
actually
some push-ups.
That would have been great to be in the movie if they went, because they had a comic book thing. If he went to Comic-Con, they'd been like, "What the fuck is?"
Maybe that's the third act of this new Thor movie. It's a comedy.
Oh God.
But I think it's justified. Like, we are living in the world without superheroes, arguably,
Yeah.
and it's flooded with comic books. So in a world where there's actual superheroes, you better believe there's going to be comic books about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was a great little touch.
Yeah.
I love that part.
I like the fact that he hated it too. Like,
Yeah.
he's seeing these comic books. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So, I thought that was awesome. And it could very well be something like that in Thor. Let me tell you what the plot of Thor is basically. Thor gets kicked out of Asgard, and he gets
Again?
Yeah, and he gets sent to this planet, which is basically a planet that's run by this guy who's played by Jeff Goldblum, by the way, is like the master of
This
this
isn't the
planet.
new one coming
In
out?
the new one, yeah. And it's a planet of gladiators. So he's forced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had me at Goldblum.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah, he forces Thor to be a gladiator on this planet and fight people from other planets, and the king gladiator on this planet is the Hulk. So because nobody can beat him. So on this planet, the Hulk is like a superstar, and so he walks around on this planet with like a lot of swag. He's not like the sullen.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's not the sullen guy that he usually
He
is.
doesn't have to worry about getting angry and destroying stuff. He can just go nuts.
That's what he's supposed to do. And like, there's a lot of scenes that, like, if you look if you read they have the pictures. It's like him, and like there's a scene where Thor and Bruce Banner they actually see each other and like, oh hey, because they're friends, and they're all laughing. Hey, good to see you, and that sort of thing. I'm like, what is this? It sounds so stupid to me, just so dumb, and it's all setting up for the next, for all these other bullshit movies.
So do we have 3 Marvel movies this year? Spider-Man,
Another Guardians, right?
Guardians and Thor?
And Thor, and then Infinity War.
That's next year, I think.
Is it next year? Yeah.
So I can't do 4. I cannot do 4 this year. I'll just go ahead and tell you guys straight up.
You always say that.
I would really, truly like to know how much money Robert Downey Jr. is making from these movies. He's going to be a billionaire if he's not already by the time this stuff is over, because
He probably owes so much in taxes and legal fees.
I'm sure he'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll be fine. But so we talked about what we really liked about Logan. What did you hate about Logan? Or should we get that in the next segment?
Yeah, we got to get that in the next segment. We're about to go into another commercial. So we'll take some time to think about what we hated about Logan. It shouldn't be hard for a couple of haters like us.
Right.
Hated it.
We've kind of talked about some of it already. So.
A little bit of it.
All right, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. This is Rekt Reviews on EnterTalkRadio.com. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear, host of Sound Experience here on Intertalk Radio. And Source Connect by Source Element is the essential tool that we use to link between my studio in Austin, Texas, and the WS radio station in San Diego. Now, with Source Connect, not only can we communicate in real time and with HD audio, but it's synced up and is of a high enough quality that I can use it for real-time ADR work, remote recording, and overdubbing, and it even allows me to remotely control a DAW. Source Connect by Source Element. Affordable, high-quality audio and video connection over the internet for all of your production needs.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Make this your vinyl night. I'm John J.R. Robinson, and every week, music creation comes alive through stories, experiences, and sounds when vinyl records filled our hearts and minds. My friends and I share our tips and techniques used in creation of iconic tracks for recording artists such as Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton, Quincy Jones, and Steve Winwood, to name a few. Vinyl has emerged hot, and the soul of vinyl defines art and passion which burns deepest at night. Tune in every
Are you
Wednesday
serious
at
about your
2:30
music?
Pacific.
Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com. Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Erik, Paul, and Sharp.
All right, last call, third round.
We're back.
All right, so things you did not like about Logan.
What I did not like about it, number one, is that it was too damn long, and it took a long time for it to get going. There's a lot of setup, like you had to, get the idea that it's 2029, and now Logan is a limo driver of all things, which was kind of weird, and he's pretty much an alcoholic, and he's taking care of Professor Xavier. And and all the other X-Men and all the mutants are dead. It took them a really long time to get that set up, and it was just kind of drawn out. To me, it's like one of those things. Like in Star Wars, they tell you in the credits like exactly what's going on, and then they just jump into the movie. Mm-hmm. They could have done that whole thing. It's like, hey, it's 2029. All the mutants are dead. Professor Xavier is senile. Logan is an alcoholic. And here's our story.
I disagree. I think
that.
it's better to weave that into the movie itself rather than giving you
but faster.
Faster. Maybe, yeah.
I think I'm the only one who didn't really mind the length of this thing. I thought it was paced pretty well for me, at least. I don't mind there not being a whole lot of action in superhero movies.
Yeah, I don't either.
Me either.
I wasn't really complaining that it was too long. I was just commenting on it that it was too long. And again, Shark, if you're just kind of chilling at home with your quote screener copy, it might not be quite as enjoyable. Me and Erik went to see this together. We were chilling in the recliner seats in the beautiful La Jolla.
You guys aren't as old and grumpy as I am, so
I'm getting there.
I'm a fucking chronic complainer. Hey, you kids, get off my lawn, sort of thing. So
let's see, I guess one of the things that kind of bothered me, again, this movie is very much on the nose about what it's doing, but when he fights himself, it's, because, Wolverine is a character about internal conflict. Yeah. Obviously, and then to physically form in front of you and then get in a fight with it. I don't know if I needed that exactly. I did like how it ended. I like that the bullet he was saving to commit suicide with gets used to kill the other Wolverine. Yeah. That was kind of nice.
It was cheesy, though.
It's cheesy, but it worked. It worked. It's also cheesy that the girl is the one that saves his life by taking away his suicidal tendency or whatever. And then she's the one that winds up saving him. Yeah. So, yeah. But I don't know. That part of it worked for me. It was just, I don't know if I needed to see him fight himself literally in this movie. Yeah. But
I thought that part was cool. The part I didn't really dig too much is kind of the whole Western thing with Shane. And just kind of the whole point of it
I
is just.
Confession, I have not seen Shane.
Yeah. I haven't either, but just when I saw that.
You guys have not seen Shane?
No.
Blasphemers.
I was not big.
I don't like Westerns.
I'm not a huge Western fan. Yeah. I'm starting to appreciate them more now that I'm older. And
I only like Westerns when there's robots in there.
So Wild Wild West is your favorite Western movie?
Yes, the robot spider. That's exactly what I was talking about.
God. Listen, all you have to do is watch The Outlaw Josie Wales, which is by far the greatest Western ever made. Watch that.
I've seen Unforgiven.
Unforgiven's
great. I've seen have you guys seen The Proposition? It's a Western that takes place in Australia. It's super good.
You talked about that before. I'm going to watch that when I get home.
Yeah, it's good.
And Tombstone, of course, is the tour de force by Val Kilmer as as Doc Holliday.
I mean, but basically, in general, like Wolverine and westerns, like it seems like the whole point of the movie is just take out the bad guy before he takes you out, and that's basically the whole depth of the movie. And with Wolverine, there's so many like kind of deep and themes there that are exploring that the end of it is just what is it? The valley is. No more guns in the valley. Whatever. We just killed the bad guys. Like that. That's the whole point of all this drama. That's the part that didn't really.
Well, when you think about it, it really did have a kind of an old Western motif. The whole movie.
And that was intentional.
Yeah, that was super intentional.
Yeah, the whole dusty thing and the old gunslinger sort of thing. So yeah, but I actually thought that was kind of cool about it because for all intent and purpose, he is the old gunslinger. This is his last hurrah, right. And then and kind of like a kung fu movie too, where Professor X is his master, he's dying, and they kind of had all of that in there, which I thought was kind of cool, but still just it's all shoved in together. I thought it could have been put together a little better.
Well, I think most of that stuff worked for me.
Yeah, I mean, overall, there's really not much to hate about this movie. This was a great movie. Because besides Batman, Wolverine is like my favorite comic book character. He's the rest of them, I think I've said this before. Batman is by far the best comic book character ever. Everybody else is a bunch of bedwetters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Marvel has the more exciting characters. You know what I mean? It's like because they're more flashy. Batman is like, I'm a twisted asshole.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah. But that's what.
Do you like any of the Batman movies?
Some of them. I like the first one with Christian Bale, which was just the Dark. That was the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Begins.
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. I like that one, and then the second one.
Dark Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. The Dark Knight. I thought the last one with Bane. I thought was ridiculous.
That one's terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. I don't like that at all. And then, of course, all the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton I thought was good. The rest of them after that were just horrible. Especially
there was a second one with Keaton, but that one was also bad.
Yeah. Oh, especially when Joel Schumacher took over.
With the nipples?
No. I'm talking about with Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Oh, with the Penguin? Yeah, that was ridiculously bad. Ridiculously bad. I don't know. Did Tim Burton do that one too?
Yeah, that was a Tim Burton.
Yeah.
He did 2. Joel Schumacher did 2. And Christopher Nolan did 3.
Every copy of the Joel Schumacher Batman should be burned. Like they just shouldn't have them. Like Val Kilmer cannot be Batman. Okay, the Mr. Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just sat there.
See you.
Yeah, I just sitting there watching. I was like, what am I watching? What is this?
Nice to see you. I guess they were going for the campy kind of 60s version of Batman, which, whatever.
I don't know. I don't know why anybody doing 2 of those was a good idea.
Yeah, and then Joel with the nipples and the the butt plate. And it's like
they just threw these actors in there. And then what's his face? Clooney did one of those.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what? I thought that Clooney would make a good Batman, but like the story was just bad. He didn't have.
No, he's not. He's not.
I've actually never seen it.
I think I've seen it, but
you really don't want to.
I mean, he's not dark enough to be Batman. By
Alicia
a long shot.
Silverstone is. Oh my God!
What happened to her?
I remember Tommy Lee Jones was just.
Oh yeah, Tommy Lee Jones was in there.
Bad.
And that's
he was Two-Face.
Two-Face, yeah.
And that's what he was doing. He was chewing scenery.
They just took all these like top shelf actors from the era and threw them in this movie, but none of them belonged there.
It reminds me of Dick Tracy.
Yeah,
do you guys remember Dick Tracy?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. That's exactly what it was like. And Jim Carrey is the Riddler, which was really good casting, but because he's a weirdo like the Riddler, but it was like he just didn't pull it off. It was.
I wonder if they're going to bring the Riddler back.
The 90s are so lame when you think back on it.
You guys do you ever play the game Splinter Cell?
Yeah.
Okay, I always thought that George Clooney would be, if they made a movie of Splinter Cell, he'd be perfect for that character. He would be absolutely wonderful for that. But that's just the computer.
Couldn't he do anything?
He's just married to a hot lawyer and runs around being rich. Why make
he was in the movie you didn't like, the Coen Brothers movie, Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar.
I never saw that.
Don't.
Is it that bad? I like the
Don't-
Coen brothers.
I love the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
This one was kind of heartbreaking. There's
I-
like a nugget of a good movie in there, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of bad stuff in it.
Yeah.
I watched True Grit the other night. Their version of that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, True Grit's great.
Yeah, with Haley Steinfeld, who's so hot now. she's an incredibly beautiful girl.
I haven't seen what she looks like since that movie.
Bring her up on your phone right now and take a look at what she looks like now. I think she was like 14 in that movie, so she looked like a little tomboy. But
Yeah, when was that? How long is it?
that's like 6-7 years ago.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah.
No.
She's 21 years old now, and she was like 14 when they made the movie. So
That couldn't have been that long ago.
I felt like that was like 3
That was like
years
3 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like 3 years.
why
to
don't
me.
I just look it up?
Yeah. Use that magic box of yours.
Keep talking though.
Mirror on the wall. What year did True Grit come out?
Do you guys have any? I mean, I don't know what's coming out for us to review next. Does anybody have any thoughts?
Thor.
Thor. I mean, that's late this year. I would say.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
When is the Nolan movie coming out? The World War.
Oh, I want to see that. It's June.
That's June.
2010. So 7 years ago.
Wow.
Holy
really?
shit.
Wow, they're old. We're old.
Yeah, very. It's funny because I remember seeing the original True Grit, and they stayed amazingly
Oh,
close to the story.
this was a remake? I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The original was John Wayne. John Wayne.
It is like the
Those-
least filling Coen Brothers movie that they've made.
Yeah, John Wayne and Kim Darby.
But
This
let's see.
is that's her now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's Photoshop.
Oh, that is what she looks like now.
So does
She has a song now, like a really
She's
popular song.
she's an artist.
Yeah, a really popular song that they play in the clubs that just sucks booty so bad. It's terrible. But again, we all know I'm a hater, so
You're a hater.
I'm a grumpy old hater.
What do you think about?
That's what we
was
should
it-
call us, the hater review.
The tragedy of Shark is due to his career. He's always in like clubs and bars and
When
has
was-
to listen to all the stuff that he hates
When-
with all his heart.
Absolutely.
When was the last rec reviews where Shark liked the movie we saw?
Yeah, what was the last thing you liked?
Has
Deadpool.
Has that happened?
Deadpool?
Was it
Deadpool. Yeah, I think
That was a
that's-
year ago.
Yeah.
You haven't seen a movie? We've never reviewed a
haven't-
movie you liked?
We haven't reviewed a movie that I actually like. I
Did you like Sicario? I thought you did like that
I
one.
didn't dislike Sicario, but you know what? But actually,
That's high praise.
yeah. When we reviewed it, I really didn't like it. But I watched Sicario over again, and I actually like it a lot. It's actually a pretty good movie. So
Was that a quality rip problem?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was part of it.
You just watch shit that you're watching stuff with like 200 pixels.
Yeah. Well, you know what part of it is that I get so mad watching movies because like the characters, like there's a character development in it, and the characters are always so stupid. It's like when like in a horror movie when somebody's being chased by some killer, and like somebody drops a gun and they just keep running. They won't pick the gun up and just shoot the character. You know, one of the greatest scenes I ever saw in a movie was an old the Crush with Alicia Silverstone, where she was the young girl that had the crush on the guy, and she's just like
her
doing all
neighbor.
this shit to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the whole movie, she's going crazy and doing all this shit to him. And at the very end of the movie, she was chasing him, and like she kept hitting him, like cutting him with knives and all this different shit. And I just kept going, why doesn't he just knock this girl out? Like, he's a grown man and she's a little girl. And finally, that was
She's
like,
too hot. You don't want to hurt her.
That was like the final scene. She was running at him with the knife, going, just screaming, going, ah! And he just stood there and looked at her, and he just socks her in the jaw and knocks her out. I was like, how come it took so long to do that? Like, this is so dumb. And then that's why, like Sicario, the girl in Sicario, she was so like this is the way things are. She's like when they were on the bridge. And like they're shooting the gangsters. She's like, this is illegal. It's like, okay, yeah, it's illegal, but they're trying to kill us, so we have to shoot at them. And she's like, doesn't want to shoot at anybody. And I'm like, nobody is that dedicated to their job. Like if there's a car full of people shooting at you, you're gonna, if you have a gun, you're gonna shoot back. You're not gonna be like, well, this is against the law, and there's a lot of other people on this bridge. It's like, yeah, but you know, why
It's
are
like,
you
time
here?
out, guys. We shouldn't be doing this.
We shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. So, and and we're talking about Sicario now, but like, cause you brought that up. So she's like in the middle of this, basically the CIA or the DEA, and she's telling them, well, I'm going to go to the director and tell him what's going on. And they're like, the director is the one who told us to do this. It's like, it was so stupid. It's like, are you that naive as to why you're here? So that movie has one of the most hardcore scenes that I ever saw at the end, where fucking Benicio del Toro kills the kids and the wife. I was like, wow.
That was awesome.
Yeah. I was like,
but they didn't show it.
They just, you just see them dead.
In Logan, you see a girl get stabbed in the stomach.
That's very hard to watch. The little kid. Yeah, it's like
little kid violence is really rough.
I want you guys, because you can stream Moonlight now, easy. Go home and watch Moonlight tonight if you have a chance, and I dare you guys to not cry at least once watching that movie. Like at the beginning with the little kid, it's just like, Jesus Christ, this kid, his life is just like hell.
That sounds like a fun night. I'm down.
It took me a long time.
I could use a good cry.
Well, it took me a long time to watch that movie because I was like, I don't want to see the little kid being abused. I just don't want to watch that, right?
Yeah, that's what I should have saw in the theater, just to force myself to get through it. Yeah, because that's one that'll probably take multiple viewings on my part.
You have to turn it off for a little while. Like I said, I was cringing. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch the rest of this
because I really want to see Manchester by the Sea too. I hear that's a hard watch as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
I think Shark is being sexually harassed on the internet by one of our listeners.
Uh-oh, what's happening?
We have a chat room on our live page, and this is from our friend Tuho. She says, I guess this is earlier from when we were talking about the movie was too long. She says, "Too damn long has never been a problem, Shark."
Touche.
Touche.
Wow.
That's why I love her.
She's not local anymore, right? She's
San Francisco.
That's right.
I still have to call her about doing
a voiceover for your show. That's right.
Show, yeah. I actually talked to her. She said she'd be cool with it. It's just a matter of setting it up.
Does she watch movies? She should do our show.
Yeah. She did once. Yeah, she did a Bond show with us.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that movie.
We only have a couple of minutes left. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Man, I just got really sad. That's like Moonlight sad I got thinking about that latest Bond movie.
Well, what's the next one we're going to do?
What's coming out? I don't even know.
I think Spider-Man is soon, but I don't know if it's like, week or two away soon.
Well, there's got to be something. I would say Moonlight, but we can't do that because I don't want everybody to hear me cry.
La La Land? You're the only one who hasn't seen La La Land at this point,
seen
Shark.
It?
I've seen it.
Did you like it?
I did like it.
It's awesome, isn't it? It's such a good movie.
I will be the only one who will not see La La Land.
You know what? We can still review it. We can just have Shark here. He'll hate on it either way. He doesn't need to watch it.
We'll lie and say, "Yeah, let's do Moonlight," and then come in and start talking
the old La La Land.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will go home and I will watch La La Land, and I will Facebook Live myself watching it.
It'll be like Two Girls, One Cup. You just see your reaction.
Yeah, just so people.
That video's going to end with somebody dying.
So people can see the rage that I'm in. I cannot watch musicals. I think it's so stupid.
Oh, man.
Well, we'll figure out a move. Maybe we can post it before we do a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Rekt Reviews on EnterTalkRadio.com. Download our app on the Apple Store and Google Play. Check out all our awesome shows, and we'll see you next week with more movies to review.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.